Come to the zoo, it's what we do. Always welcome back. Come to the zoo, it's what we do. Always welcome back. Always welcome back. Come to the zoo, it's what we do. Always welcome back. Well, there's plenty to tell you. Jack's Animal Fun Facts. Jack's Animal Fun Facts. Jack's Animal Fun Facts. Ahoy there, shipmates! It's Jack here, and boy am I glad to see you here. There are many in my stories and his adventures when it comes to animals. This one I'm going to tell you is all about humpback whales. But before we can get this here, they're not the only whales here. There are two different groups of whales, the toothed whales and the baleen whales. Toothed whales like dolphins and orcas and sperm whales, belugas and narwhals have teeth, and they're predators. So they find food using echolocation. Baleen whales, like humpback whales and blue whales, have baleen in their mouths. That's the hairy fringe in the upper mouth. There are other ones too, like the bowhead whale, the gray whale, the Amur's whale, the blue whale, which is the biggest animal in the world, up to 100 feet long, the fin whale, the minke whale, and the right whale with the white eyebrow above its eye. But if you really want to know this here, let me tell you about humpback whales now that you're ready to open your hearts and now that you open your minds. There's LeVar Burton and Cindy Bell. They got information as well. A humpback whale is pretty large, about 45 feet long from head to tail. And check this out here. See what the humpback whale's doing underwater? It's bubble netting. They dive underwater, blow bubbles, and small fish and krill will swim up, and the whales follow and open their mouths wide to gobble them up. Watch closely. Here he is. See, there's the baleen here. That's the hairy fringe in the upper jaw. So they have baleen instead of teeth like we do. See, they help filter water out while keeping food in. And boy, is that a ton to fill its big tummy. But its throat is the size of a grapefruit. And look at this here. Look at the blowholes. They can hold their breath 15 minutes here. Their blowholes are like two nostrils, and they open really wide and close them so they can hold their breath. It's blowing moisture out. They come up for air, then spout here and take big breaths. See how nice it is? When a whale does a classic deep dive, bring the tail up into the air, that's called fluking. That's what you call the end of a whale's tail, a fluke. And check out the whale slapping water with its tail. It's a social signal, which means it needs attention here. Whales live in family groups called pods, and a baby whale is called a calf. Although humpback whales are very big, they're very gentle animals. Humpback whales live in all oceans of the world, including polar seas. When a whale leaps out of the water and makes a big splash, that's called breaching. It helps communicate over long distances, or just having good time, like underwater synchronizers or performers. When it comes to watching and studying whales, we can help them survive. Those guys were whale watching, being right here on the North Atlantic coast by Massachusetts. Whales migrate. As you can see here, whales have an amazing sense of direction. They just know where they're going, but sometimes they can make a mistake and take a wrong turn. That's what happens to Humphrey in this true story.
It's called Humphrey, the Lost Whale.
Wendy Takuda, and Richard Hall. Illustrations by Hanako Wakayama. Read by Jane Paul and Jack Medved. It all began far out in the Pacific Ocean. A pod of humpback whales was traveling south for the winter. Humpback whales are magnificent creatures that sing to each other underwater. They're very endangered, so each one is quite special. In the winter, they travel south. In the summer, they head north. And they always know the way. But even whales can make mistakes. And that's when a whale named Humphrey made a big one.
He turned away from his friends and wandered under the Golden Gate Bridge into San Francisco Bay.
That's where he went. Right in California. That's where the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco Bay is. Everyone was surprised to see Humphrey right in the bay. He was a spectacular sight. As long as a city bus, as big as 7 elephants put together. Whenever he comes up to breathe, appearing as if by magic, people will stop to watch him. Then, Humphrey did something no whale had ever done.
Instead of swimming back out to sea,
he went the wrong way, up the Sacramento River. The big river became smaller and smaller as Humphrey traveled upstream. He was looking for the ocean, but it was clear Humphrey was lost, which is why he got lost. But not for long. More and more humans came to see Humphrey. "There he is!" they shouted. He was an amazing sight, but something was wrong. Whales live in the salt water of the ocean, not in the freshwater rivers like Pink River dolphins in South America. A whale gets sick if stayed in freshwater too long. Humphrey was in big trouble. The farther Humphrey went, the more worried everyone became. Then until Humphrey squeezed under a tiny bridge. The river beyond the bridge was very shallow. Something had to be done to get him out of there and fast, because one thing, Humphrey looked sick. The scientists knew he'd need help to get back to the ocean right away. Luckily, scientists, Coast Guard officers, and many others got together to work out a plan to save their new friend. They start to bang long pipes together underwater to warn him, so he can turn around. At the same time, they play a recording that broadcasts underwater the sounds of whales eating. Listen closely.
Maybe Humphrey would be so hungry and lonely, he would swim toward the sound.
It worked! Humphrey turned around and started swimming back down the river. Everyone was relieved, but the danger was not over yet.
When Humphrey arrived at the little bridge,
He stopped.
He couldn't find a space big enough to go through.
People kept banging the pipes, but Humphrey became angry. He rolled from side to side and thrashed his tail. People stopped banging the pipes, so they had the second part of the plan because they're not getting up. They decide to make the space under the bridge bigger. They brought in a huge crane on a barge and worked through the night to clear away the broken pilings so he could go through. The next day, people began banging the pipes together again. Boats moved closer to Humphrey to urge him on toward the bridge. This was his last chance. Everyone watched nervously. Brave Humphrey approached the bridge, but as he tried to swim under it, his head became a little stuck between the pilings. He frantically bobbed his head up and down, thrashed his tail to free himself. Then, suddenly, Humphrey lifted his right fin way out of the water, almost touching the bridge. As he twisted his body, he broke free from the pilings and swam through to the other side. Hooray for Humphrey, they shouted. He made it. Humphrey, the lost whale, was finally on his way home. The whole flotilla of boats and the clanging of pipes helped Humphrey find his way down the river. Finally, Humphrey arrived at San Francisco Bay. And Humphrey was so happy, Humphrey spent one whole day happily swimming around the bay. He took trips of the people gathered along the shore. Humphrey seemed to be saying goodbye and thank you to all his friends who helped save his life. Finally, in the late afternoon fog, Humphrey swam under the Golden Gate Bridge and back out to sea. Humphrey the whale had made it. The end. I remember the time I went whale watching the gray whales migrate north to the Bering Sea with my family. It was quite a sight here when we were invited, and I was so thrilled to see them, and so were the dolphins, and it was something I'll never forget. And if you think that was amazing, did you know humpback whales can sing during the mating season? And then for communication, humpback whales compose songs sometimes hours long, and how and why they sing is one of nature's great mysteries. But they compose beautiful melodies like these. Underwater melodies, drifting on currents, rising up towards the sky. Whales sing it so mysteriously, I want to sing along, but the words just pass me by. Sail away, sail the sea. With the whales is where I want to be. Dances of the deep dark sea, dancing with the waves, flying oh so high. In ocean choreography, I wanna dance with you, but I feel a little shy. And I sail away, sail the sea. With the waves is where I wanna be. And I sail away, sail the sea. With the waves is where I wanna be. Sail away, sailing free. Oh, with the whales is where I wanna be. It feels like a dream. Reminds me, I had a dream I was swimming with whales. But if you think that's amazing, you could see that how big others are, like the orca and sperm whale. They're large, but different sizes. But the blue whale is one of the biggest animal in the whole world.
It can weigh up to 200 tons. That's more than 30 elephants.
And about 100 feet long from head to tail. Almost as long as a jet plane.
Oh,
awesome. Take a look at these gray whales.
But even though they're big, whales can be remarkably friendly creatures. Can you imagine what it would be like to come face to face with one?
I got a picture. Whales are remarkable creatures. As you know, a whale is a mammal, All whales in the region, they're wonderful singers. Their tune always changes. Faster than a jukebox. Or what's in the top 40. Take this guy underwater. Howard Hall is his name. He's been fond of wildlife and always, including with this right whale that he encountered right over here. One day he was in the Atlantic Ocean and it came right down to him so close and looked at him and smiled. And that's when he got an eye to eye. He just let him scratch his eyebrow. Isn't that sweet? And it's amazing how humpback whales made such a comeback. This amazing story of Humphrey and about how they survived like that reminds us to protect them. There were hundreds of thousands of whales in our oceans. Now they depend on us for their protection. Why? Well, because of bad guys trying to come after them, which are nothing but villainous and trouble, nasty nets, and pollution. It's our duty to protect them, including pollution prevention. Take this stuff, for example. Plastic bottles and wrappers are disgusting to the sea life that lives there. When you finish your beach picnic, please clean it up. That's one way we can be sure forever from now on you can help keep the whales safe here and make also even hear the humpback sing. You can also help spread the word and also do amazing things to help protect whales and let them know why you care. And that is a true whale of a tale I had to tell. See you later, me hearties.